Hello and welcome back to the Villa Villa podcast. I'm here as always with my good friend Dan Wiseman. Dan, I'm fairly sure that it's written somewhere that late night Villa Villas, they just hit different, don't they? They just hit different. It's just what we do
Yeah,
here, isn't
man.
it?
It is fantastic. Absolutely buzzing to be back talking to you, mate. It felt like we needed a little bit of time to step away. The Arsenal result was a bit raw, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Took us a little bit of time to get over it, but you can't stay away from this club, can you? And more importantly, mate, can't stay away from you, and we can't stay away from a good old transfer rumour mill.
You are too kind, my friend. You're too kind. But yeah, guys, you will have seen the title by now. Long-time viewers of the channel will know sometimes you just got to do these. Like, you guys would have seen the views are on the floor right now. So, I mean, we're not even going to apologise for talking about Paul Pogba to Aston Villa. But before we do get into that, guys, we've got a message from today's video sponsor. Dan, have you ever wanted an app that collates all the scores and news from your favourite teams in the whole of Europe, Dan? Have you ever wanted that?
Is a constant need of mine, mate, because there's always news. That's the thing, is that we love this game. We love the industry of football because it's ever changing, mate, and you need a place to keep up with it all.
And we have that place exactly for you
sure
guys.
do, mate.
It's One Football. Guys, this app is it's life-changing.
It's great because I use it. So it's great because it's where I pull the stats from for the podcast. So it's like there's all that new stuff as well, but you can track all of the players' stats from like across Europe for all the different leagues, for continental football as well. It's a dream. It's a dream. And the best part, mate, is it's free.
It's free, and guys, it would help support the channel massively if you check that One Football using the link in the description down below. We promise you guys won't be disappointed. So guys, if you haven't checked out One Football, make sure you do so using the top link in the description. It's helping Dan and I out more than you could imagine. And I mean, there's some big things hopefully coming through the channel soon. Dan, we've got some things in the pipeline. This podcast, or at least not this one, but the next podcast should hopefully sound significantly better. But more on that when that happens. For now, Dan, Paul Pogba, normal circumstances, we wouldn't even touch this with a barge pole, mate. But there's been a few outlets that have genuinely reported that Aston Villa are an interested party when it comes to Paul Pogba, whose contract is, of course, up in the summer. Get this out of the way, Dan, first of all. It's absolutely categorically not happening, okay? But we're going to still sit here and tell you exactly why this should happen, aren't we, Dan? That's essentially what we're going to do, right?
Basically, mate, this is long time. I feel like every time there's a transfer rumor, we have to preface this. It's like we're not sitting here bringing news to you guys. We're not the sources. All we do is take the sources, however nonsensical they may seem, and bring them to you guys. And if they're nonsensical, we'll sit on this podcast and be like, hey, guys, don't listen to these transfer rumors. Like this is what we do. We break down the ones that we do believe, that we don't believe. We give our thoughts on it either way. But you know what, mate? Is it like I had a similar feeling coming on, and this I will always reference this now whenever we're talking about crazy transfer rumors. Is we had a conversation early January. You messaged me, like, we're interested in Coutinho, and I was like, oh mate, are we really gonna do this? Like, I'm not about to come on and talk about Coutinho joining Villa, but we did. And then a week later, it was like, oh my God, he's signing. And then we had the announcement in the can. And so now I refuse to like rule anything out, just on the account that I did the same with Felipe. And I still get to watch him every week in the Claret and Blue. So yeah, no longer will I completely write off a rumour after that, mate.
Mate, there's no reason to, is there? There's no reason to. It's funny because, you know, we've come a long way with these types of things as a club, not only just us as a channel, Dan, but the fact that not last summer, but the summer before, you know, promotion, all this kind of stuff. And we're talking about like Gonzalo Higuain. We're talking about Cavani. And of course, like Higuain has fallen off and he's like a shell of the player he was. But to be linked with one of the best strikers of the sort of 2010s, you know, you kind of pinch yourself. And of course, we were far from it back then. But, you know, now it does genuinely feel like, Dan, we're talking about Paul Pogba. And even if there is just a 2% chance that he comes to Aston Villa, That's 2% more than 2 summers ago when we were talking about Cavani, mate. And that's the thing. And
Yeah,
I think what's exciting about this is, again, it's the fact it could happen. You do not know. This guy's out of contract. I think, if we're being completely and utterly reasonable, Dan, he's going to PSG or Real Madrid. He's a free agent. At this stage, the man needs to go and win some silverware. He needs to go and play his football at the highest level where he's absolutely capable of being. But I also think, Dan, we've come on here, and I don't think we would have come on. I genuinely don't think we would have done this transfer rumor, mate, had there not have been so much Pogba slander on the timeline from Villa fans, would we? Some of the stuff I've said has been absolutely ludicrous.
it's nuts, mate. It is absolutely nuts.
Because John McGinn's better than Paul Pogba, quite clearly.
Oh, obviously. Mate, it's nuts, man. It is really. You know what, I'm like, okay, Paul, if you're not going to come to Villa, I hope he goes to Juventus. And the only reason I say that is because what a shithouse. Leaves United on a free to go to Juve. They buy him back for like the best of 100 million euros. And then he just goes back there on a free afterwards. Like that is just magnificent. And also that, for the. It's going to look amazing on his Wikipedia, right? It's going to be like Man United, Juve, Man United, Juve, and then that would probably round out a career. That would look chef's kiss. But no, mate, it's crazy, and I think you're absolutely right in that this is just to have our club sort of banded about in these conversations is quite amazing, because not only are we banded about with, as you said, PSG, Real Madrid, Juventus, these kind of names. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but to be put in the same bracket as Newcastle, and for the papers to believe that we have the same vision, as this club that are like now linked with everybody, to be put in that bracket as well is actually quite cool. Like, joking aside, it's like the papers are like, oh, everyone's linked with Newcastle. Everyone's like, and so when Pogba comes up and the papers make these like perhaps sort of blind connections, but oh yeah, Newcastle are going to buy him, to be sort of, oh yeah, Villa have similar ambitions despite our owners having, I mean, they're still minted, but a fraction of their wealth is quite incredible, really. But yeah, mate, it's he's certainly going to be leaving this summer. I think he's going to go to one of these giants of European football, but they're saying that we have been in touch. I don't know what that means.
Is that not illegal? Is that
well, this is the thing. Well, the thing is like, I'm not really sure on what the rules on tapping up are, because I was reading an article earlier, and that's just basically Barcelona's transfer policy. Yeah. It's just that's all they do. It's all they do. So they were like, yeah, we're speaking to Rafinha. It's like, guys, it's March, can't do that. But no, just talk to him anyway. Yeah, it's cool. So yeah, I mean, when in Rome, if you're going to sit at this big table, you've got to do things, don't play checkers, play chess, mate. And that's what Nasif was doing right now. So yeah, I don't know what in talks being in touch means, or how true it is. But we're here to digest it all the same, mate.
Absolutely. And I think the thing is as well, shock transfer rumor mill. Dan's going to mention that he's an Adidas athlete. There we go. Tick that one off the transfer rumor bingo card. Paul Pogba is an Adidas athlete. But I think, yeah, as you say, mate, it's we're in these same kind of conversations as these super clubs, for want of a better word, or just absolute powerhouses when it comes to money. And I think that's what's important. I think, people are starting to take note that Aston Villa are doing some serious business. And I think, if you're looking around any of the sort of social accounts, if you're looking at any sort of, anything to do with football, Premier League news, whatever, Philippe Coutinho is being banded one of the signings of the January window. It's a massive statement of intent. And if you can get a Philippe Coutinho, why not try for a Pogba? And I don't necessarily think, and I think this leads us on to a good discussion, Dan, that we will partially have in a separate video, but the whole Emil Smith-Rowe, James Ward-Prowse saga, ultimately chasing players that are never going to come to no ends. I mean, it doesn't necessarily put Villa in a better or worse place to at least have talks with Pogba's representation. We all know Mino Raiola, he'll go wherever the money is. Is it Raiola?
It is.
It is Mino Raiola. We know he'll go wherever the money is. We know that's the case for Pogba as well, I think. And again, I feel like I have to say this with everything I'm saying. He's not coming to Aston Villa. Do not get this twisted in whatever way. But this almost feels different because, we're starting to really, I think we're actually Aston Villa, the way that we're going down, we're going to be annoying some of these sort of top European clubs. If you look at the likes of Atletico allegedly wanting Matty Cash, it looks like if we are going to sell, which all the reports are saying we're not, but believe you me, everybody has a selling price, as we found out last summer. If we're going to reject so many approaches from Atleti, we're going up to Frank Kessier's representatives as well, and also offering contracts. And of course, he's accepted the Barcelona one, which you can't begrudge him for. But it's essentially saying that Aston Villa are here. We do mean business, and whilst we might not get the Smith Rowes, the Ward Prowses, and how annoying and embarrassing that can genuinely be, I think it is important to preface that as well. We're shopping in the right areas, and eventually we'll get our man, and we did with Philippe.
Yeah, exactly that, mate. I think I genuinely feel like we will look back at that Coutinho signing and be like, that's where it changed. That's where it all changed, because we are no longer like, to all these big players, they will see that as a bigger move as fans do. Like, to these sort of elite tier players across Europe, that deal's put Villa on the map. And all of a sudden, if for all the want of the world, I hope he doesn't, but if Atletico do go and pinch Matty Cash for 40, 50 million pounds, then it's like, wow, okay, like this club is, we're really starting to do business on the elite stage. And sooner or later, maybe later rather than sooner, we are going to land a player of this nature. We're not, I genuinely don't think we're going to be the club that's going and splashing 80 to 100 million pounds on a player. We've been very clear the whole time we're going to be shrewd. These kind of free agent periods where, we're trying to pick up players on Bosman deals, like we were supposedly with Kessié, seems to be the way that we're doing things. It was only this week that we saw that, apparently we were in touch with Tammy before his move to Roma, and that fell through. Which is I'm sort of gutted about, but there is a part of me that's like so pleased for him right now, and I absolutely love what he's doing. I always see, like, you go on his posts and it's like, oh, come back to Chelsea, like, come to it. It's like, no, you're the king in Rome. It's like, you're like, don't ever leave. Like, he's got two goals in the Derby della Capitale at the weekend. It's like, you look at him performing on the stage, it's like, don't like stay. I'm a Villa fan. I'd love him to play in Carrot and Blue, but it's like, it's hard not to fall in love with what these players are doing. But the point is that just being involved with these names is really quite something, mate. And as you said, it does look like Pogba is set for a move back to the continent. And I think if Villa is unlikely, then I'd like to think that Newcastle is all the more unlikely, despite Mino Raiola's best financial intentions, as you said, mate. Pogba's been speaking out on France international duty with France, and he's really not pulling any punches about how he feels about Manchester United. Said the last 5 seasons have not satisfied him at all. He said this year it is dead. We won't win anything, whether it's with Manchester United or at another club. I want to win trophies. This is it's never worked out at Manchester United. He referenced the period with Jose where it really got a bit fractious. Said it all began there with Jose Mourinho in Manchester, and he said, you have to ask yourself questions. You wonder if you're at fault because you have never experienced these moments in your life. Because you make money, you always have to be happy. It's not like that. But in football, if it does not pass, we are not superheroes, but only human beings. These are words of a man that is leaving the club in the near future.
Absolutely.
He's absolutely on the
and he wants to move to Four Oaks, mate. That's what he wants.
That's what I've heard, mate. That's my inside sources are. He's looking at a little plate and a little Aston, and that's the get out from all this. But yeah, mate, we all already have our French maestro in midfield. I can't be dealing with. Indeed. That's a story for another day, mate.
It's a story for every day, mate. Fuck me. Get Sanson on in the starting 11, please. But yeah, guys, Paul Pogba, fantastic player. There's no more. I don't know why I even have FB Ref up on my second screen, Dan, because I don't need to sit here and dive into the stats. Because if you don't rate Paul Pogba, I don't understand what you see. I
What,
don't.
mate, like maybe this is the thing, is that the stats probably wouldn't read too favorably because he doesn't play well for Man United. He doesn't play a lot
Okay.
either. So this is about the eye test, isn't it?
No, okay. I'm going to interject, Dan, because top 1 percentile for assists per 90, top 5 percentile expected assists, top 5 percentile non-penalty goals and expected assists, top 1 percentile dribbles completed. This is comparable with midfielders. Top 4 percentile touches in the attacking penalty area, top 5 percentile progressive passes received. I don't really know what else to say. Top 13 percentile progressive carries. I understand the point. I understand the point because sometimes you do have to go off the eye test, mate. But this is a guy that makes things happen. We know that, and the numbers are. I didn't want to have to read them off, but there you go, guys. You've had some FB Ref offers for today, so you can't complain. Interestingly, as well, while we're on the topic of FB Ref, they compare 10 players that he's similar to in terms of metrics. And what I find so fascinating about this, and I think this kind of speaks to Pogba's all-round game. You have the likes of Nicola Barea, Luis Alberto, Bernardo Silva. Maybe I'm being generous throwing Hakan Çalhanoğlu in there, but that's 3 or 4 fantastic, well-rounded, I want to say attacking midfielders, right? Okay. You've then got William Carvalho, Ilkay Gundogan, Frankie de Jong, and Jude Bellingham in there as well. Now, Bellingham's a guy who can do everything. Carvalho, Gundo, Frankie. I guess Frankie's a box-to-box, but the other two very much sixes. Bellingham can play anywhere, obviously, but he can play anywhere in the midfield. He's that good. Now, of course, he's far too good to be sitting as a 6, but that's a conversation for United fans, and they've been having that for the past 8 years. It feels like, mate. He's an all-rounder. He's one of the greatest midfielders of this generation, and is often disrespected. He will go to a super club. He won't be coming to Aston Villa. But let's not sit on Twitter and go, I don't want him. He's crap. He's this. He's that. He's wonderful. He's joyous to watch. And if you need reminding, just go and watch the Juventus clips. Go and watch the goals he scored for Juventus. Go and watch the skills. Go and watch. Honestly, a freak of nature. He is a freak of nature. And he won't 100%. Be coming to Aston Villa. So sorry for baiting you guys with the title. But I feel like that's led to a discussion that we wanted to drive in terms of where Aston Villa as a whole is going. And we've got plenty more podcasts hopefully coming out over the next few days. Hopefully they'll be sounding crystal clear, so you guys will have to keep an ear out for that. And if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content. It would mean the absolute most. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and up the Villa.